Oh, sit down, sit down. We have got to talk. You have no idea how much I love you. I'm doing a lot of things around here. I'm trying to save antibiotics for human beings and not feed the cattle every day. I never get applause. I'm trying to bring the Supreme Court under the same code of ethics as all federal judges, but nobody cares. But when I come here, you give me so much love. I don't even get this at home. They never applaud me there. Nothing. But let me tell you who really needs applauding, and that's Bob Lynch and the incredible Americans for the Arts who do this year after year so superbly and so wonderfully well. Thank you, Bob, and thanks for everything, all you do, and your great staff. And for Judy Chu and Bro Adams, who have given so much of themselves to help us to do what they know is best for this country. Thank you for that, and for the wonderful staffs that you have, and how great to work with. I'm not going to take up a lot of time because you've been listening to me for years. And as Bob mentioned, I grew up in a tiny town in Kentucky. I was born in Harlan County. All right, there's the Commonwealth. We know how to play basketball, don't we? Well, we'll talk about that later, but where's my New York buddies? All right, good. Look, there are things that we always say to you that we want you to make sure, but one thing that we put about $156 million in for arts, and we put about $8 billion back in the United States Treasury from that investment. We don't get that kind of money back from anything else we spend. We need to be doing so much more of it. And I think one of the reasons we all love each other so much are the things that we know that we need to tell everybody else, and that is the benefits of the arts to the developing mind. What all of us have seen, what it's done for children who've been traumatized, who are able, finally, as they use both sides of the brain and occupied with their hands, are able to take it out and look at it, the awful things that have happened to them. But what I want you to talk about today is something that Bob alluded to a few minutes ago. I know only about this from what I've read in articles and things, but I'm going to be going out to Walter Reed to see it. In this 13-year war that we've been engaged in, we have wounded and maimed 50,000 young Americans. And they've come back to a Veterans Administration that was already stressed, hardly able to do it. As a matter of fact, we've been closing a lot of hospitals, veterans hospitals. And so we keep beating and pounding on the Veterans Administration, but the task that we have given them is Herculean. But let me tell you what's happened because they have started using art. Veterans who came back who could barely live, who couldn't communicate with their families, who were angry because of what had happened to them and what it had done, they are being exposed to art, to music, to meditation. And it is remarkable. They are being able to give up those paper bags full of pill bottles that they had to have with them all the time. How critical is this to what we are trying to do in this country? What art does, art never has to apologize to a soul. And I'm so flattered and honored that all of you, those of you who are famous, who take the time to come back and make us all feel a little better and give your time because you know what art's making. But I've given you all these statistics all these years about Southern California University, Southern California Davis does all these great studies and tell us that the only doctors who really know what they're hearing in a stethoscope are doctors that studied music. All the great work that we did when we found out what the economic benefits of the arts, the fact that the Metropolitan Museum in New York sells more tickets every year to the Met than every sports team in the city of New York combined. Doesn't that tell us something? But when you go today, talk to these people about what we're doing for these veterans, the people that this country sent off to war, the wounds that they've had from this war. Remember, a lot of them in previous wars would have died, would not have even been able to be saved. They have life-altering wounds, loss of limbs, a lot of head injury, a lot of other things. And what we're able to do with them with arts, every member of Congress needs to know that. And needs to know how important it is that we increase what we are giving to the arts. because we have an obligation there. And if we can ease that pain, if we can make it easier for their families to get back together and help their life for the rest of their lives, many of them in their 20s, then it is a job that we will consider to have been well done. Thank all of you for all you do. Thank you for just being who you are and working in what you do. And as was said already by Bro so beautifully, art tells us who we were, who we are, and who we hope to be. Thank all of you so very much. I love you.